video we show how to perform factorial analysis in case of repeated measurements. So the data files, again taken from the book on Andy Field, will be as shown above here. So there are 9 experimental conditions that are arised by asking subjects about their appreciation of 3 possible drinks: beer, wine and water, after having first looked at a positive, a negative or a neutral advertisement about that drink. So there are 9 conditions that arise by combining 2 factors, meaning the presentation with the drink, that each have 3 levels. So in order to be able to handle this in a factorial analysis, we have to code factors that have more than 2 levels in terms of dummy variables. So the presentation will be coded to the 2 variables positive or negative advertisement, and the drink will be coded as beer or wine. So let's read the data. So the data for different conditions are in separate columns, as usual in repeated measures. So they're in the first 9 columns. And we will generate the pairs, the differences with the reference condition, which was shown as condition 9, which is water after a neutral advertisement. Now we still need the independent variables, so the way to do this is a bit strange, but nevertheless it works. So we read the file as an attribute file, and we don't read any dependent variables, we only read the independent variables: positive, negative, beer and wine. So that will not create a scaled attribute, but it will create the patterns that we need for our purpose. So go back to pairwise comparisons now, so we can use these 4 patterns to make a prediction. Now, instead of doing multiple regression, we want to do factorial analysis, so we're also going to add the dimensions for the 2-way interactions. If we look, then we see that there's actually 6 interaction terms being added. Now 2 of them don't make sense. That's the one between the interactions between the dummy terms, so we can make them into 0, just like. So that means that there now are only 4 interaction terms, which has no effect on the LLC, but just reduces the number of parameters and hence also the AIC. Now, in order to see which ones of these main and interaction effects actually help to predict the dependent variable, we can do a multimodal regression. To figure out which case actually contributes. And with some scrutinize, we find that the highest weight goes to the model that has the 4 main effects, but only an interaction effect between negative advertisement and beer, and the negative advertisement between wine. So knowing this, we might also remove the other ones. So so we only have 2 interaction terms left. So that further decreases the AIC, means it's even a better model than the one with these factors included. So find out that there's actually 2 interaction effects that are significant. So this one has a significant difference from 0. And sorry, wrong one. So it's close to being significant, and the other one is significantly different from 0. So of the two interaction effects, the second one is the more stronger, which makes sense because the effect on wine is bigger than the effect on beer. So we could even possibly try to see if we remove the first one. Also move that. And so there's only one interaction effect left. And so that's slightly worse. So if you look at the maximum likelihood, we see that both models are about equally likely.